Hello, world, and welcome to the Quick Kick Picks presented by Bros Talking Soccer. I'm on that time now. My name is Dave Kindle. It is MLS Match Week 6. I am joined by Arsene Wenger. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Christian Knittel. He is my brother. Christian, hello. Are you excited?
I was. Now I'm not so much.
Yeah, so right before we were recording, Christian was struggling, zipping up his jacket. So shout out Arsene Wenger there. All right, let's get to the matches we're about to talk about. First up, we have April 5th, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have Vancouver Whitecaps hosting the LA Galaxy. Christian, what are you expecting to happen here?
I can really only see an LA victory in this one, and I know it's on the road, but the Vancouver Whitecaps look like a straight-up disaster. They've had three losses, one draw in their 4 games so far. Contrastly, LA Galaxy have 3 wins and 1 loss in their 4 games so far. And yes, it's on the road, and yes, it's MLS. LA Galaxy, I mean, they only have a goal difference of 1, even though they have won 3 of those games. The game they did lose, but got blown out in. But I still think just the quality that LA have, I think they're getting a lot of players back as time goes on this season, and a healthy Ibra is always a dangerous weapon to have in these types of games. And I see a closely contested win here, but it's probably going to be like 2-1.
Yeah, and interesting that Ibra is going to be playing on turf this year. I like what Vancouver is doing. They're building. They got a draw last week against a strong Seattle side, and I have confidence in Marc Dos Santos. For the Galaxy, you already kind of touched on. Ibra is healthy, and he's going to be playing on turf. They're getting healthier. Alessandrini is back. I really like Antuna, the winger out there, and Jonah Dos Santos really seems to be settling in and taking the next step for them. Having said all that, I expect this one to end up either as a 1-1 or 2-2 draw. I like Vancouver to get another result here. Christian, anything else you want to add?
I think that's it.
All right. Next match, we got moving to Saturday, April 6th, we got NYCFC hosting the Montreal Impact, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to kick us off on Saturday. Christian, what do you think is going to happen here?
This is an interesting one because NYCFC look like a just awful so far this season. I don't know what's going on with them. I expected them to have a little bit of a downslide, especially with Vieira and David Villa both being there last year and both being gone now. But it's still a big shock because that team was competitive, was making the playoffs consistently, had a lot of talent, but still just now they lost their star quality and they just look straight up bad. And I don't know what's going to bring them out of this right now. They need a miracle at this point. It really looks like. And I don't know what the answer is. I can't see them getting a result in this game. And I don't think Montreal is that great of a team, to be completely honest with you. It's that bad from NYCFC right now. And I think that I can't remember if I read this. It might be for a different team, but I know that they have a long stretch against Montreal that they haven't lost. It's been like 5 games or so that they've played against them and they haven't lost a single time. But I see Montreal going into New York this weekend and getting a result because I just can't see it from NYC right now. They just seem to be lost, and I don't think they have that organization or that playing style really figured out yet. So I'm not going to say New York City is going to lose this one. That might be ridiculous, but I see Montreal definitely getting a point out of this game, maybe a 1-1 game.
Okay, I'm in agreement on the draw. I'm going to say it ends up being 2-2. I agree. They don't look comfortable in this system. Bear at center striker, I think, needs to come in. He's their new signing. He needs to make an impact. Montreal started strong, and I wasn't sure if that was just who they were playing.
Needs to make a what, Dave?
An impact. Hey-oh, there you go. Then I wasn't sure if that was just a product of who they were playing against. Last week, they got absolutely smacked by SKC. Piatti, is he coming back from injury? He's obviously going to be hugely important. And Diallo in the back. If he comes back, he can at least solidify things. I think this ultimately ends up 2-2. Christian, anything else you want to add?
I'm just hoping that NYC can get their act together because they are an entertaining team when they are free-flowing. And I know that field is just awful, but there's a lot of goals that usually happen there, and nobody really knows how to play on that field other than them. So it's a huge advantage to them.
Agreed, it is an advantage. All right, next up, we got Toronto versus Chicago. My order is out. There we go. That wasn't right. Toronto versus Chicago Fire, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Christian, what do you think is going to happen here?
So looking into this game, I was surprised to see, but also not surprised to see that Toronto haven't lost against Chicago in 9 straight matches now, 8 wins, 1 draw, and that's just mind-boggling in MLS that one team can just dominate that much, specifically because because Toronto were so bad last year, that really was surprising to me. But at the same time, the Fire really haven't been on fire in the past couple of years. And
puns left and right here.
And I just can't see anything other than a Toronto win at home. They just really look like a machine again this year. They look like they have some fresh blood in there. Pozuelo, oh my God, what a debut he had last week. And I don't know why you made that face. But I think that with Josie being back and healthy, Michael Bradley kind of returning to form a little bit, even though I don't rate him highly personally, I think that there's only one team winning this game, and it's going to be Toronto in emphatic fashion, I'm guessing. 3-1, let's call.
Christian, I have 3 words for you. Pozuelo, Pozuelo, and Pozuelo. The man has so much swag. That debut last week was incredible. The Panenka setting up Josie for a goal, the chip shot with his left foot. I mean, he's incredible. Toronto is going to be back, which is trouble for the rest of the Eastern Conference. Josie looks reinvigorated, and I have some slight worries about them defensively. They're aging a little bit. They tend to be a little bit injury prone, but I think they're just going to outscore teams. I'm in agreement with you on the 3-1 scoreline. For the Fire, they did beat New York Red Bulls. Gaetan made his debut, and he's going to be building. They got a weird sort of power and speed situation going on with the wings. They got Sapong on one wing and Frankowski on the other. I like that, but still, I just think Toronto has way too much firepower. They end up getting a 3-1 victory here. Christian, anything else you want to add?
It's the second time you've been talking about a team and mentioned the other team's name. You said Impact and now Fire. So that I'm letting you know. Just be aware of what you're doing out there.
Puns aplenty. All right. Next game we got is DC versus LAFC. That's the one I tried to do before 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the same time. Christian, what's going to happen here?
Probably the best game of the weekend. These are 2 of the hottest teams in MLS. I'm very
so hot right now.
Oh my God, they're so hot right now. It's kind of like Zoolander versus Owen Wilson, whatever his character's name was. Oh wow, I can't think of it. All right, so yeah, you think on that, Dave, and we'll be back. All right, so Carlos Vela, what a player he is. Obviously, Wayne Rooney is absolutely lighting up the league as well right now. Just star power galore and getting results galore. It's really impressive to watch these 2 teams play. They really don't look like either have weaknesses at the moment, which is surprising because I really didn't rate DC that highly to start the season, but they have proven me wrong already. And LAFC, I expected them to be very, very talented coming into the year. They have conceded 5 goals through 5 games, but that's going to happen. That's not really that big of a deal considering they're scoring 15 goals in those 5 games. And that's crazy to be averaging 3 goals a game. That's absolutely insane. On the other hand, DC United have 9 goals, 1 conceded. So it's going to be coming up the best attack versus the best defense this weekend. And I don't even know where to go with this one. I think that DC are able to hold them back somewhat, but LA they're able to grind out those results, get goals. I am actually going to go with...
Say it.
A 1-0 LAFC win in DC.
All right, there you go. So Christian's already mentioned top of the table clash. DC is top of the East. LAFC is top of the West. Star power all over the place. DC's 2 goals last week against Orlando both came from set pieces. They were able to hold off a surging Orlando side. Meanwhile, LAFC just absolutely destroyed San Jose. I think that they're bigger and more disciplined and aren't going to concede those goals from set pieces. Vela looks like an MVP. I love Rossi's game and all of that. Very rarely do I pick a road team, but I'm with you here. LAFC is going to get a victory, but it's going to be 2-1. They are going to give up a goal, but they're going to be able to score 2 against the best defense. Anything else to add, Christian?
No, just everyone watch this game. It's going to be a fun one.
Absolutely agree there. Next up, we got Orlando City. I am way off. Orlando City versus the Colorado Rapids, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Christian, what's going to happen here?
Lower mid-table battle here for both the East and the West here. I don't rate Colorado highly. It's Tim Howard's swan song of a season, and that's the only thing I really know much about that team. And yeah, they are just a leaky defense, giving up 12 goals already, same as Salt Lake and Portland in the West. That's the one that I'm thinking of. Yeah, 6 goals through 5 games. Okay, they're scoring about a goal a game, but they're just giving up 2.5 goals a game is not going to get you results ever. They only have 2 points through 5 games so far. They, I guess, played the most games in MLS, tied with other teams, obviously, but they have played more games than most and are in 9th place, and the 2 teams below them have played a game less. So I do not think Colorado have what it takes right now to grind out this result and have a good season now. Orlando have had a weird season so far. They've had ups and downs. I think they've gotten results that they shouldn't, obviously. At their win, honestly, it was at New York Red Bulls, right?
Yeah, it was away at New York.
New York, which is just a shocking result. But on the other hand, New York haven't really started that well this season, so it isn't that big. I think Orlando is able to get the result this week, and they're going to win 2-0, I'm guessing.
All right, there you go. I think Orlando has shown great fight outside of the Montreal game in every match this season. I like that from them. I like to see that. I also think Nani is going to get more integrated into the side, and that's going to be really helpful for them long term. Colorado, you've already touched on it. They've been supremely disappointing for me. I thought that they were going to have a bounce back year. Hasn't been the case. They got shellacked at home 4-1 against Houston. Defenders' arms are falling off. Rosenberry dislocated his shoulder last week and just popped it back in. So props to him there. But yeah, I'm in agreement with you here. Orlando gets a 1-0 home victory, or at least a 1-goal home victory. Christian, anything else you want to add?
Orlando hasn't lost to Colorado in 4 straight matches, 3 wins, 1 draw. That's going to continue this week.
There you go. All right. New York Red Bulls versus Minnesota United. That's the game I meant to do earlier. That's taking place at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm all mixed up back and forth. Christian, what's happening in this one?
Well, who would have thought Minnesota would be higher in the table than New York coming into this game? I rated New York very highly coming into the season, and Minnesota, they're just a very average team that I don't expect them to challenge for playoff spots or anything else, really. I expect New York to start bouncing back. They're going to start to catch form. Obviously, the CONCACAF Champions League is going to wear them down a little bit at the start of the season. They're just going to be a little bit tired, but they're going to start catching form now. I expect them to really come out of the gates and bang goals in. I think this is going to be a dominant victory and really get their season back on track. I'm guessing a 4-1 victory, and I see Bradley Wright Phillips having a hat trick this week.
I'm in agreement with you. They need to get Bradley Wright Phillips going. I have him getting a brace in this one and it ending 2-0 to the Red Bulls. Now, Minnesota, I thought had turned a quarter to start the season. They'd gotten 2 victories on the road. They were looking good, but looking back on things, it was against Vancouver and San Jose, so maybe it wasn't as great as expected. Also, this is the last match on the road. They started the season with, I think, 5 or 6 straight road matches. This is the last one. They're going to be looking forward to Allianz Field and opening that up, so I think that's going to play a role here. Red Bulls, we've already touched on, have not started well. They have also only gotten a victory against San Jose. Kaku coming back, being integrated back into the side. That's obviously good for them, and they need to get Bradley Wright Phillips going. Again, I think this ends 2-0 with the Bradley Wright Phillips brace. Christian, anything else you want to add?
Nope.
All right, what do I have? I'm out of order here. All right, we got Philadelphia versus Dallas. Philadelphia Union taking on FC Dallas, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Christian, what's going to happen here?
Well, I'll tell you right now, I will be at this game. It's going to be a beautiful, clear day. It's going to be like 70 degrees. I'm going to be tailgating this game. So if you guys want to stop by, let me know you're coming. All right. So I'm expecting Philadelphia Union to get the win in this game. FC Dallas have obviously started the season very, very well. 3 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss in their first 5 games. Really starting to announce themselves again and challenge for the West, at least at the start. But the Philadelphia Union, 2 wins in a row, kind of unexpectedly after the horrible, horrible start that they had to the season. But I see them actually grinding out this result and getting I'm guessing a 2-0 win. I think FC Dallas are able to score goals, but the Union seem to have found a way to incorporate their best players and learn the system that they're playing. David Accam, what is going on there? I don't know how he all of a sudden is scoring goals and contributing goals. 5 contributed in his last 2 matches, and he's going to continue that trend in that 2-0 victory.
There you go. I think this is one of the sneaky best matchups of the weekend. Obviously, DC LAFC is the one to look forward to. I think this might be the second best matchup of the weekend. Both are 4th in their respective conferences. Both are on 2-game winning streaks. So both coming in with a bit of form. Accam been crushing it. I love what Wagner has done at left back for the Union. I like what I've seen from Montero to add center midfield depth. Obviously, Fabian has been great, and Aronson. huge 18-year-old making an impact in the center of the park. For FC Dallas, they have their own midfield young revelation, Paxton Pomykal, 19-year-old. It's going to be fun to watch the two center midfielders who are teenagers battle it out. I love Luchi Gonzalez's commitment to youth. Jesus Ferreira banging in goals up top. He's 20 years old. They are settled in the back with Matt Hedges and Jesse Gonzalez and Ziegler, and so they have a stout defense. I'm going to say the Union squeak out a 2-1 home victory in this one. Christian, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I just expect this to be a really attacking game. I know I have no goals for Dallas, but I still think that they're going to be creating chances, and it's going to be a big game, especially for Blake, one of the best goalies in the league.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. Next up, we got Columbus Crew taking on the New England Revolution, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well. Last one at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Christian, what's going to happen here?
Oh, boy. I messed that one up. I'm going to be honest. It is Columbus, right? Is the game that you
just... Columbus versus New England. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first this time.
All right. So I think the Crew's depth is going to be tested here. Harrison Offal broke his jaw last week. They're already without Valenzuela, their other outside back. So not having those two outside fullbacks is going to be difficult for them. 2-0 home win in the monsoon last week. I don't know how much stock you can put into that because it was just ridiculous weather. Now on the New England side, excellent home victory for them. Brad Friedel's antics may be working, although they may not be working. It doesn't seem like his players are too excited to play for him, and that's going to be interesting to follow kind of all season. Carlos Gil has been fantastic, and New England's just sort of whole team in attack flows through him. He's going to be incredibly important here. I think this is going to end up being a draw with one of the goals coming from the Crew mistake from one of the Crew's outside backs. I see that happening, and New England at least getting a goal, but the Crew will get a goal back as well. Christian, what do you think is going to happen here?
All right, so I'm definitely predicting a Crew victory in this game. I think New England are a straight-up disaster, and Brad Friedel, I don't know how much longer he's going to have if he can't get this team to really cooperate and learn a system because they look lost in every single game that they play. Crew, on the other hand, are surprising me this year. I think they have been dominant in some of their games. Obviously, that Union match, they were missing a couple of players, and it showed that they were missing key players during the international break, but they still are a talented squad. Obviously, they're second in the East, and although they've only scored 6 goals and they've conceded 4, they conceded 3 of them in that one match. So they really only have conceded 1 in the 4 other games. They are defensively very, very sound, especially when Will Trapp is in there, and I expect them to easily get through this game. I'm guessing a 3-1 victory.
All right, I can see that happening as well. San Jose is taking on the Portland Timbers at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday. That's what I'm trying to say. Christian, what do you think is going to happen in this one?
Well, this is a not that close one, although it will seem that way. I think San Jose are that was a mean word that I was going to say. They're just awful. They are probably the worst team in MLS, and I'm sorry to say that, but that is just the case. I think Portland have not started the season well, obviously, but they are clearly the better side, and they're going to grind out this result. I think it's going to be very close just because it is on the road at San Jose, and these teams are kind of close and might be a slight rivalry. It's not huge, obviously, the way that they would be with LA or if Seattle and Portland were playing, but it's still going to be a hotly contested conference match, and I expect a 2-1 victory for Portland in this game.
Yeah, I think this match has desperation written all over it. They're the bottom 2 teams in the league right now. Portland's conceding goals like crazy. San Jose's conceding goals like crazy. San Jose just lacks talent, and it's unfortunate, but they also are trying to implement this new intricate system, and they just don't understand it. Portland just looks completely out of sorts. Portland does have the talent around them, but I'm predicting shocker here. San Jose is getting their first victory of the year. Portland going to be bottom of the table after this. I think Nick Lima comes back into the lineup for San Jose. San Jose doubles down, recommits to Almeida's system, learns from things, and ultimately gets a victory here. I think it's going to be high scoring because I don't trust either defense. Not that San Jose's attack is something to write home about, but I still think it's going to be high scoring, and San Jose finds a victory in this one. Christian, anything else you want to add?
I understand the Timbers have had an awful start defensively, but San Jose's leaking more goals and have a worse attack. I can't imagine them scoring that many goals against a Portland team, even though their defense is weak.
Gotta be bold. Gotta be bold. Last match on Saturday, we have Seattle taking on or hosting Real Salt Lake. at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Christian, what's going to happen here?
I just do not rate Real Salt Lake that high. I can't. I think that they are a weird team right now, and they're still, I think, in a big transition phase for the season. Them really challenging. They might challenge for those last playoff spots, but I don't see them challenging for MLS Cup. I see them as a very, very mid-table team. I don't think they're as bad as Portland or San Jose or Vancouver or Colorado really have been. Of course, they are the team right above all of them. But I can't see them beating or getting a point against Seattle. Seattle are a very, very good team. They seem well drilled. They seem like they have an identity, and they're just going to keep rolling out those results until they come up against, obviously, the top teams in the West. So this is just another team that they're supposed to beat, and they do. And a 2-0 victory this week.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you on the Seattle victory. I mean, Seattle couldn't find a goal in Vancouver last week, but they're still undefeated on the road. They still have a ton of talent. I like Rui Diaz and Jordan Morris to get on the score sheet, maybe from assists from Nico Ladero here. RSL just looks to be a complete mess. They're giving up goals. They're getting early red cards, and they just seem to be lacking discipline. That's a really concerning thing for me, and they need to turn that around in a hurry. I think Seattle gets a multi-goal victory in the Garth Lagerwey derby here. Christian, anything else you want to add?
Don't think so.
All right, last match of the weekend. It's on Sunday, April 7th. FC Cincinnati is taking on SKC. FCC versus SKC. 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I wanted to write an M&M line, but it was taking me too long, and so I had to move on. Christian, what do you think is going to happen here?
Oh, I just want to say I'm very proud that you got those papers in order finally by the end of the show. So very good work there.
Thank you.
Yeah. FC Cincinnati did have one of the best starts ever for an MLS franchise, and I commend them for that, but no way do they get a result in this game. This is probably the best team, arguably, in MLS that they're coming up against, or the best drilled team, at least, the most organized team. And I just can't see anything other than an FC Cincinnati loss. I know they're at home. I know they have that feel-good factor still, but the Union walked in there and won 2-0 last week. So who knows what SKC, a much better team, can do to them on their day.
Yeah, the only thing, we're recording this before CONCACAF Champions League play. The only thing is if SKC keeps their CCL leg on the road, I think they're on the road tonight to within 2 goals, I could see SKC heavily rotating their lineup. So if that happens, I can see FC Cincinnati getting a result here. It's going to be important to get Kendall Waston back. Looks like Fernando Adi won't be back. I know he had an injury before, but now he picked up a driving citation. So, you know, if Waston can get back, that'll be huge for them. SKC, like Christian already said, they're so good. They're so well drilled. They're the most talented, not most talented, but they're the most organized and disciplined team in MLS. Peter Vermees just has them playing fantastic. They're doing great in MLS and CCL. So if SKC rolls out a strong lineup, SKC rolls probably a multi-goal victory on the road. If they do a heavy lineup rotation, I'm going to give an edge and say FC Cincinnati can pick up a close victory here. Christian, anything else you want to add?
Even if they rotate, I can't see FC Cincinnati winning the game. I could possibly see a draw, but it does come down to what happens tonight.
Absolutely. With that, that has been the end of our Quick Kick picks presented by Bros Talking Soccer. Thank you so much for tuning in. Go watch the matches, specifically DC versus LAFC. You have to tune in for. Go watch the rest of them as well.
Definitely check out the Union too while you're at it.
Yeah, watch the Union. The Union versus FC Dallas game I've already touched on. I think it's going to be a good one as well. And the rest of the matches should be fun too. Have a great week, everyone. We'll talk to you soon. See ya.